On a winter morning in June 2020, a discovery in a quiet patch of Roodepoort sent shockwaves through South Africa. A young woman, 8 months pregnant, glowing, excited for the future, was found brutally murdered. A woman whose life should have been on the brink of a new beginning. Her name was Tshegofatso Pule. And the story of what happened to her is not only devastating, it exposes a pattern of violence faced by far too many women in this country every single day. Today, we honor her. We revisit the investigation that uncovered the truth, we walk through the murder trial that demanded accountability, and we look at the legacy built in her name, a legacy determined to turn heartbreak into action. This is the case of Tshegofatso Pule. Before the headlines, before the courtrooms, and before South Africa cried out for justice, Tshegofatso, Tshego, to the people who loved her, was someone warm, vibrant, and deeply cherished. She worked in the beauty industry, known for her effortless style and her ability to brighten a room just by walking into it. She had dreams, plans, and a soft spot for the people closest to her. And in 2020, she was preparing for one of the biggest roles of her life, motherhood. 8 months pregnant, she was already imagining the tiny fingers, the little outfits, and the moment she would hold her daughter for the first time. She was excited, hopeful, and ready. But that hope was taken from her in the most brutal way. On the 4th of June 2020, Tshego left her home in Meadowlands, Soweto. She had planned to meet her boyfriend Ntuthuko Shoba, a relationship that by all accounts had become increasingly stressful and uncertain. Shoba was engaged to someone else, that alone created tension. And with Tshego only weeks away from giving birth, she needed clarity about him, about their future, and about their baby. That evening, she sent a message to her friend saying she was outside his complex waiting for him. It was the last message she would ever send. When she didn't come home, her family immediately knew something was wrong. Tshego wasn't the kind of woman who went silent, especially not with the baby on the way. Her family reported her missing. The next morning, on the 5th of June, a stranger passing by in the Durban Deep area of Roodepoort noticed something out of place, something horrifying. A woman's body hanging from a tree, a single gunshot wound to her chest, her pregnancy still so visible. The scene had been staged, made to look like she had taken her own life. But that wasn't the case. Police soon confirmed the worst. The woman was Tshegofatso Pule. Her death sent the country into mourning. Protests erupted, calling attention yet again to the epidemic of gender-based violence. Hashtags trended, communities rallied, South Africans were angry, heartbroken, and exhausted. They asked, how does this keep happening? The investigation moved quickly. CCTV footage revealed that Tshego had gotten into a silver Jeep outside Shoba's complex, a vehicle that didn't belong to him. The driver was identified as Muzikayise Malepane. When police questioned him, he broke. He confessed to killing Tshego. And then he told investigators something that would change everything about the case. He didn't do it alone. He didn't do it spontaneously. He wasn't acting on impulse. He said he had been hired by Ntuthuko Shoba. Muzikayise claimed Shoba wanted Tshego dead because he didn't want his fiancée to find out about the pregnancy. He didn't want the drama. He didn't want the responsibility. According to him, the plan was premeditated, cold, calculated, and executed under the guise of hiding a secret. Muzikayise pleaded guilty. He agreed to testify against Ntuthuko. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison. But the story was only just beginning to unfold. In early 2020, almost a year after Tshego's death, police arrested Ntuthuko Shoba. He denied everything. He insisted Muzikayise was lying. He said he had nothing to do with the murder of the woman carrying his child. But evidence kept piling up. CCTV footage placing Tshego at his complex, phone records linking the two men, testimony describing the murder for hire arrangement, as well as allegations that this wasn't even the first attempt on her life. A story began to form, one of betrayal, manipulation, and devastating selfishness. In January 2022, the highly anticipated murder trial began in the Gauteng High Court. South Africa watched closely. Inside the courtroom, the state argued that Ntuthuko was the mastermind. Muzik Ayise testified in chilling detail about how and why he was recruited. The prosecution argued that Ntuthuko wanted the scene staged to look self-inflicted. Ntuthuko's defense claimed Muzik Ayise was framing him to reduce his own sentence. But as testimony unfolded, a picture emerged of a man trying to raise a problem, a man whose actions were driven not by panic or fear, but by planning. On the 25th of March 2022, the court delivered its verdict. Ntuthuko Shoba was found guilty of premeditated murder. The judge described the killing as brutal, senseless, and motivated by pure selfishness. In July 2022, Shoba was sentenced to life imprisonment. He later sought leave to appeal, but that request was denied. For Tshego's family, it wasn't closure. It never truly is, but it was justice. In the months after Tshego's death, her family channeled their grief into purpose. They created the Tshegofatso Pule Foundation, a powerful organization committed to fighting gender-based violence, supporting survivors and affected families, providing outreach and education, advocating for stronger legal protections, and ensuring Tshego's name fuels change. Through marches, community events, and national awareness drives, the foundation keeps her memory alive, not as a victim, but as a symbol of the urgent need for safety and justice for all women. Her story, her life, continues to echo through South Africa, not only as a cautionary tale, but as a call to action. Tshegofatso Pule was not just another case. She was not a headline or statistic. She was a daughter, a friend, a dreamer, and a mother-to-be. Her story forces us to confront what so many women face: fear, danger, and violence, often coming from someone they trusted. But her legacy, through her family and the foundation built in her name, pushes us forward. It reminds us that every life taken by gender-based violence leaves behind a community determined to fight for change. And as long as we tell her story, as long as we honor her memory, she'll continue to inspire that change. Thank you so much for watching. If Tshego's story resonated with you or reminded you why we need to keep speaking up against gender-based violence, please tap the like button, share this video, and make sure you're subscribed. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Your voice, your thoughts, and your awareness genuinely matter. This is Crimes That Echo. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.